I've been teaching our church here in Carmen, California, about the three dimensions of spiritual access.
Mm.
And we see them in one of the most popular chapters to apostolic Pentecostals in the Bible. It's Acts chapter 2,
Yeah.
in the form of questions. And the first question that we read there from those who were looking in a puzzled manner at what was going on the day of Pentecost, they said, "What meaneth this?" And so they were in the dimension of curiosity. Now, young people get off base at that dimension all the time. And if you get off track at the dimension of curiosity, then you're going to hunger for the wrong things, because the three dimensions of spiritual access are curiosity, hunger, desire, and they build on top of one another. And so some young people, if they get off track at curiosity, then they're not hungering themselves their way into the right things. If their curiosity leads them to a hunger for God, they can get off track at hunger. That hunger can be the hunger for the approval of peers. It can be the hunger for the approval of a particular stripe of Pentecost organization or something of that nature. It can be the hunger for a lot of things disguised as a hunger for God. But a hunger for God, if that is channeled, it will lead them into desire. And desire is markedly different than hunger, because desire has an intentional component to it. It's like a baby. They understand, uh, they start sticking everything in their mouth, and that's how they understand things, through taste.
Yeah.
And so initially it's curiosity. They stick a pacifier in their mouth, they stick a shoe in their mouth, they stick a carrot in their mouth, whatever it is. And it's curiosity. But that curiosity gives way to hunger. And that child starts crying, and their stomach's growling. There is a literal hunger. But then they get old enough to where that hunger turns into a desire, and they say, "Hey, Dad, I want to go to Burger King for a cheeseburger." And so there's an intentionality with desire. It's not just curiosity. It's not just I'm hungry for something, but it is a determination that this is what I want. This is what I'm going after. And so it's this way in our spiritual formation and development. It starts with curiosity. Joel Hart is probably a boy, and God's given him dreams, or you got a heart for God. You're curious about things. You see a prophet. What is a prophet? You see an apostle. What is an apostle? This is something I've never heard before. It's curiosity. Oh, I'm hungry for this. But now you're at a place where you're saying, okay, not only am I hungry, but I'm going to desire my way into some things. And I think that that's where Jacob got. It was curiosity, then it was hunger. His hunger for the things of God capitalized on Esau's hunger for the things of the world.
Mm.
But then it became desire, and that's what led him to that place where that wrestling match took place.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, I think that I can even see that in myself, like as you started to mention, like right now, I'd even say that one of the biggest motivations for me with doing this podcast has been, a curiosity and a hunger. And so I hope that do that well and steward it well. But you talk about hunger, and one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was fasting, and you talk about hunger.
Yeah, you'll be
It's
hungry.
yeah, it's self-inflicted hunger, and we hear it a lot. People talk about Paul and how he said he was in hungerings and fasting, and so those different phases, um, and so it may not, we kind of veer away from Jacob for a moment, but it may not relate specifically. But regarding fasting, I heard, and I think you were there at least one of the nights, but at the Lifeline conference a couple months ago, Brother Campatella, he spoke about kind of the similar thing, really, and this pursuit of God, um, and he talked about finding favor with God, and again, it not being something that we earn, but it is something that we can be intentional about. And I believe fasting is a huge part of that. And for me recently, it's helped change my mindset of it, in knowing that, okay, it's not earning something, but it is showing God my
Yeah.
desire. And so with fasting specifically, there's a lot I would love to talk about with it, so we can sort of shift gears. But um, just when you think about fasting, I know it's something you do regularly, and um, what's kind of your pattern of fasting, and maybe tying it with what we're talking about. How do you
Yeah.
see that tying in?
Um, well.